Listen up when I say your name, I want your full CDC number.
In 2004, California State Prison Sacramento, sometimes referred to as New Folsom, had a population of 3,400 inmates, and 70% were in for violent offenses. Today, that number is down to just over 2,000. Upon arrival, officers started with a full cavity search, probing every orifice of every inmate for hidden drugs and weapons. Inmates entered with nothing but their uniforms. In max security, there's a strict code of honor and respect, and it all revolves around race. Gangs and alliances are formed around your own kind. Breaking their rules means breaking your lifeline.
I'm not going to sit down at the table and share my plate with a black, because I'm not going to go out there and do that just so I can get beat up by somebody else. You know, so you live by those rules that are set before you. Because if you get involved with other races, sooner or later something's going to come up and it's going to cause racial tension, and it causes a riot.
Prison really is a place of reckoning for the people who go in. And when I met Oliver, he was kind of an old-timer. He'd been inside so many times. He was so familiar with the system. It was almost like he was going home every time he went into prison. So many of the inmates that I encountered there had been in multiple times. It was like the prison was just a revolving door.
And have you both been in riots?
I've been in 3 riots. It's kind of hectic.
And you have to do something. You have to.
Otherwise, you're going to get the repercussions of your homeboys saying, okay, well, you're a coward. You didn't back us up. You wasn't there for us, so we're not going to be there for you.
Violence is a constant threat amongst the gangs. And when it happens, no one can stay out of the fray. February 23rd, 2000, California's Pelican Bay facility. As if on a signal, the yard erupted. 9:38 a.m., Hispanic gangs attacked a rival African-American gang. 200 inmates plunged into a bloody battle. From nowhere, weapons emerged, homemade knives, even steel batons. When it was over, 15 inmates had been shot. 1 was dead. And an astonishing 89 knives were confiscated. For 30 minutes, a maximum security prison suffered an explosion of violence, but it was contained. The prison did its job, the job it was designed to do. The structure's main objective is containment and control of violence.
I've seen a lot of bad stuff there, a lot of violence, staff assault, stabbings. They didn't allow you to have razor blades. They used to make us have electric shavers. So when it came to people getting weapons, they used real steel that you would cut from your bunk or your locker inside of your cell.
Despite constant surveillance, inmates trade drugs, run gangs, and make weapons. Searching for contraband is a constant challenge.
How good are people at hiding? Excellent.
Inmates locked up for hours on end could create an amazing array of inventions out of almost nothing.
This was wrapped up inside of some of the clothing, the motor for the tattoo gun.
Tattoo guns cobbled from wire and homemade motors. Lighters made from salt water, lead, and an electric socket.
You light everything with it.
And weapons. The most important survival tools for an inmate can come from almost anything.
We actually found, I think it was 5 or 6 weapons hidden inside that cap. They'll cut this with anything from tempered steel black large paper clips. The guy's sitting there watching television with that thing in his hand, just sits there and scrapes on it all day. He could probably have that off in a day or so.
With inmates greatly outnumbering officers, it took a full-time task force to keep ahead of the underground activities.
Use it for a rope, fashion a noose.
At California State Prison Sacramento, the Investigative Service Unit described how they tracked gang activity and cataloged the confiscated weapons.
Some are made from simple tools that we already have, maybe rods or nails, just a common pen.
Almost anything hard could become a knife, a lighter, a pen, even a toothbrush could be filed to a deadly point. It's an arms race that never stops, and the source of a new weapon was often a mystery.
And where does this stuff come from?
I don't know. We haven't been able to find out where this one came from yet.
Their search sometimes extended beyond prison walls. Gangs were linked to other prisons and to the streets, by mail and by notes that were smuggled in. These notes, called kites, often contained direct orders.
And this is what they call their hit list, separated between different counties. As you can see, Watsonville, Madera.
There are a lot of people on this hit list. So,
Thousands.
So does this mean all these people are targeted for assault? And where do you find these?
The most common place that inmates carry these around is up their butt, right? What they call keystering. This was found on the desk when we
This would not be something that's uncommon. Weapons as long as this being keistered up someone's anus.
Prison was the first time that I had ever learned about the concept of keystering. It can't be comfortable, but it just goes to show the extremes to which inmates will go to protect themselves. All this activity led back to one place.
How big of a problem are gangs in this prison?
I would say 90% of them are involved in gang activities.
So when an inmate first comes into prison, do they have to ally with a gang?
They don't have to, but the guy would be trying to stay to himself. He'd be like a lone wolf against a pack of wolves.